Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday, March 31st, but this is the blog for Monday, March 30th, because when I got back to the room last night, I was, well, what's a good word for it? Exhausted, that would be the word for it, and I just went to bed. Uh, yeah, the day started really early on Monday. Crawled out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. By 7 a.m., I was on a shuttle bus, and we were all headed off to Cabo Real, an absolutely magnificent golf course where every single hole, every one of the 18 holes, has an amazing view of the Sea of Cortez. We could see the Norwegian Star as she pulled in the morning. And I golfed on 3 holes for the television show to start with. They were like the 14th, 15th, and 16th hole. Spectacular views. Oh, and did I have fun. On the first one, I was using the driver, and I went maybe 193 yards. It was a good, solid hit. They gave me this hybrid wood to use for the next hit, and I landed right on the edge of the green. It was very cool. But my favorite was the 16th hole. I teed off, did a brilliant job. Thought I did good. It was what was the word? A playable shot, yeah. And then the next one, I used this hybrid club, and I nailed it. It was dead straight and was heading straight for the green. Unfortunately, between the translator and the host of the golf course and the cameraman, they missed the shot. But you know, it's a really hard thing to shoot. The cameraman is at the other end of the golf course, and he has to zoom in on you. And then when you hit the ball, he has to widen out, try to find this little tiny ball in midair, then zoom in and follow the ball in as it hits to the ground. And he missed it. And they asked me if I could do it again, and like I could do it again. So the next 2 hits, I tried to emulate what I'd already done, to replicate, and I just couldn't. And they said, well, you know, whatever, just hit the ball this time and we'll play it wherever it goes. Of course, I drill the ball and it goes straight into a sand pit. Yep, that's right, a sand pit. So in the show, you're going to see the first hit is this beautifully great hit, and then the second one goes straight into a sand pit. Well, they tell me I can cheat it out of the sand pit that viewers won't know, and I'm like, well, I'll know, and I really want to play it out of the sand pit. So, having never played it out of a sand pit, they gave me the sand wedge, and I nailed the sand about 2 inches before the ball, which you may think is wrong, but Henry, the golf pro and host of the show, he said to me, Shawn, this is where you want to hit. Don't hit the ball, hit the sand, and then the propulsion of the sand will scoop up the ball, and it'll come flying out. And well, it did. It came right out, right onto the green, rolled past the hole, and almost off the green on the other side. So I was about 45 feet, maybe 50 feet away from the hole, and it was time for my next shot. Well, they gave me the putter, and Henry, being the coach, said, Shawn, I know you want to aim for the hole, but don't, because of the way the ground is, the lay of the land, blah, 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 blah. Here's where you should aim, and you should actually be hitting it hard enough that you think it's going to reach this other spot. And he told me what to do. And he said, and after you take this one, we'll do another one, and you can get closer and closer, you know. And I tapped that ball exactly as Henry told me. And it was just like watching a PGA tournament. This ball just slowly and gracefully curved and headed right for the hole and straight into the hole. And Henry and I went nuts. And even the cameraman looked at me and he goes, I just want you to know, I got that one on tape. And so it's going to look really awesome. The other holes, we played almost all the holes on the course. Not all of them, but almost all the holes. Their first hole is a par 5. That's just crazy. As you approach the hole, there's got to be a dozen sand traps in front, and not an inviting way to invite you to the world of golf. But I understand the concept is that it spans everybody out right off the very top, because it takes a long time to get through the first one. So by the time that first person gets through and they're headed off to the second and third hole, the second group is only starting on the first hole and struggling to get through it. Very clever concept. It was an amazingly great golf course. Had a wonderful lunch. The wind picked up a little bit, so we didn't get to film everything we'd hoped to. But life goes on. Super great time. Came back to the hotel after we golfed, and I did a couple of interviews. They call them the cameo spots for the show, where they fill them in with questions like, you know, your most memorable moment and how you began at your chosen career. And while I was filming the second one, this big timeshare bus pulled up, and lo and behold, who was there? It was Lori. Apparently the hotel shuttle service that I had arranged for her didn't show up. I'd be right there with the wake-up call I was supposed to get that didn't get. But Lori, in her clever wisdom, found her way onto a timeshare bus for a whole $15, made the trip from the airport right to the hotel, joined in on the end of the cameo spot, and then we took a short half an hour, I think maybe 40 minutes, to wash up, change, and head out to 12 Tribes, this restaurant that's right on the edge of the water, where they prepared for us this wonderful little candlelight dinner for the two of us, where we were filming drinking wine and eating appetizers. The great thing about the shot was it should have been just of Cabo on the rocks, but there was some sort of problem with the Norwegian Star, and she was still in the harbor. Usually she leaves like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but there it was 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, and she was still there. And so we have this magnificent shot with the star in the background. And I have to give kudos to Lori. They brought us the appetizers, and they were mussels. Yeah, Lori doesn't eat any seafood. But for the camera, she swallowed the whole damn mussel, ate it, and we had our own little laugh while they were like, "Oh, that was good. Would you like some more?" She's like, "No, I think we're good with that." Then it was my turn. They gave Lori a wonderful Caesar salad, and they gave me a duck. And the duck was good, but duck is always fatty and a little oily. This was okay. But then when we finished filming, then we dropped that food, headed over to join Henry and Bob for dinner, and I had a big piece of filet that was like that thick and that round, but the sauce is what made it. It was orange tequila sauce, yeah, and we had a nice little strawberry truffle, and they said, "What do you want to do for the rest of the evening?" And I looked at the inside of my eyelids and thought, that's an excellent idea. And so, like an old man, I was in bed at 10 o'clock at night. Wow, that's a first. Of course, I was wide awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. But back to sleep again, and just crawled out. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have a fun day today. We'll see what happens, and I'll tell you about it later on this evening. You have a great day. Bye for now.